Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Business Spotlight. I'm your host today, Todd Rodden. I'm a certified business and executive coach. I own Aspire Action Coach based here in the Dayton, Ohio area. I think you're going to love this message from Mike Monaghan here today. I think some great lessons as an entrepreneur, a lot around the team and having the right players on your team and how essential that is. So if you're a first-time viewer, we're thrilled to have you join us here on the Spotlight series. Encourage you to hit the like and the subscribe button so you can receive future inspiring messages from entrepreneurs like Mike that you're going to hear today. So without further ado, Mike Monaghan, owner of Monaghan Associates, an investment and insurance firm based here in Southwest Ohio. Been doing this since 2019, but I know you got a wealth of other experiences prior to coming into this. Mike, welcome to the series. Take a minute, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about your business and how you get it started. Why insurance?
Yeah, Todd, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. Um, well, insurance. I wanted to pick one of the most exciting, riveting industries that you could ever pick. It's definitely not something where people will line up and tell me more about your day type of thing. But it's kind of my personal background. My dad was in the business, and unlike a lot of people, I guess I let my pride get in the way. I was adamant on the fact that I wasn't going to ride his coattails, and I didn't. And I made my life a lot harder than it needed to be, but that's okay. I learned a lot along the way. I bought an agency here in Springboro in 2019 that was here, wasn't really growing at the rate that it could, and since 2019 we've definitely turned things around quite a bit. And the reason I wanted to go into the insurance field in particular is I wanted to be a value add to the world around me. I wanted to help people, and obviously take care of my family in the process. And I saw the success and the effect that had on people's lives through my father's work, and I wanted to make sure that it was a part of what my family was going to do to add value to our community and help others.
Great. So helping people, helping those in the community. So maybe build upon that. Kind of share with us who are your ideal customers. Based on the types of services and offerings that you have.
Yeah, Todd, we want to work with people that care about their families and have assets to protect. Quite frankly, if you have a home and autos and families and with kids, and you want to protect them and their interests, we want to help you. So I'm looking for someone pretty much in the mirror. You've got teenage kids at home. You've got 401ks from previous employers that are still sitting there. You've got autos to insure. You've got homes to insure. You've got things to protect. We want to talk to you and how we might be able to add some benefit to your life.
Okay. Is there anything in the market that you wish more people knew about your firm and the services you provide?
Well, a big thing is people think we just do insurance, but no, obviously, we just do auto, we just do home. No, we do life insurance, we do 401k rollovers, we do IRAs, we do Roth IRAs. We help people in a lot of different aspects, and Monaghan Associates have some strategic partnerships with a mortgage lender in office. We also have a Medicare specialist in office as well, a great team. And really, one of our mission statements at Monaghan Associates is to be folks' first and last call. If we can't help you, I'm pretty sure we work with people and have a great network of professionals that we work with that can help you and your family answer questions and get what you need.
You mentioned kind of those strategic partnerships, those relationships. How What have been your keys to building those in the 5 short years, right?
Yeah, I don't want to say luck because, but just taking advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. Professionals were looking for office space to share, so we have some office space, and so it made sense to partner up with Angela Hangen at Covered Mortgage. and Mary Fromling at your Medicare specialist. And again, a lot of their people that need their services are people that need our services as well. So it made a lot of sense for us to partner up and share some space together and help people.
So building upon that, obviously, referral relationships are great for growing the business and building your customer base. But what are some of the other approaches from a marketing standpoint that you found most successful that have generated the most leads and the most customers?
Yeah, Todd, you said it. Top of the mountain is referrals. Take great care of people and ask them to share the gospel, if you will. I mean, but it all starts with people work with people they know, they like, they trust. So we want to make sure that we're doing the best that we can for those individuals. But from a marketing dollar standpoint, a lot of it is spent on local advertising, sponsorships, and we actually work with a lot of lead generation companies that provide us with people that have reached out and are looking for assistance, whether it be in insurance or investments, to get some ideas and some assistance there. So again, think of it like everybody's sales funnel. We've got different parts of the sales funnel. We've got brand awareness, and then we've got real tactical dollar spend down towards the bottom of that sales funnel. So it's putting a little bit of money into each part of that funnel and taking great care of the people when we do get them, and obviously asking for those referrals, because we want to work with people like the people that we're working with now. The best compliment that any sales professional or any professional can get is that referral. So spend a lot of focus there.
So, and not trying to have you give away any secret sauce or anything, but when you talk about local advertisement, that could be a lot of different,
Sure.
channel methods. I'm curious, what one or two really pop out for you? Hey, you feel like you get the most traction from?
I mean, whenever I bring somebody new on the team, I said the first thing you have to do is make sure everybody knows what you do. I mean, and not in an obnoxious way, but hey, this is what I do. I'm working here. Social media is big. We want to make sure we're putting a word out there. It's going to be a focus that I'm going to look into and work on a lot more next year. As a small business owner, you have to admit we wear lots of hats. I was taking the trash out a little bit ago. I had to fix the light bulb in the office above yesterday. So I know that it's tough to spin all those plates at once, but social media is a big part of getting the word out and sharing. So and having people on your team that embrace that and can share that message as well, it definitely helps. But local school sponsorships, things like that. And I'm an avid horrible golfer, so whenever there's a golf outing that I can get involved in and sponsor, I love to do it. And honestly, I stopped putting my logo on golf balls a long time ago because they tend to not go right where I intend for them to go. So that's one marketing dollar that I don't spend anymore.
Yeah, because that golf ball that goes through a window or hits a car is an insurance claim, right? So you
Yeah,
be careful
correct.
with that.
Exactly. Got to be careful there. Got to be careful there.
Not that I have any experience with that.
No, no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying.
no, no, no.
So 5 years in, you talked about, hey, you took over the agency from somebody else, and maybe it
Mhm.
hadn't been on a high growth trajectory. It sounds like when you took it over. So walk us through since that time. What's been like the biggest challenge or two that you've had, and how did you overcome it? What did you learn?
100% the biggest challenge that any small business owner has is having the right people around them. I mean, again, there's definitely challenges, but for me personally, um, making sure that you have the right people on the bus, as we were talking about, and it's a long process, and that's why recruiting is vital to be a all time thing, not a sometime thing, because if the right person is there, they need to be aware that an opportunity exists with you and take advantage of it. And even if you're staffed or overstaffed, if it's the right person, you got to try and find a way to find a seat for them and then figure it out from there. And early on, I didn't have that same approach. It was just let's put butts in the seats and let's go. No, let's find the people that have that entrepreneurial spirit in their own right, that have that drive. Um, I think that that's the key for my success, was to get the right people in the seat. And yeah, and that would be my suggestion, is especially for any entrepreneur that needs to have staff. Take your time. It's a process. Don't rush into to hire someone. But on the flip side, if it's not working out, don't drag it out. Rip the band-aid off and move on. Every party will respect everyone better in that regard.
Yeah, I love those points. So valuable. Kind of two things really jumped out to me. So that it, even when you're fully staffed and you come across, a really talented person you think's a great fit,
Mm-hmm.
how, mindset wise, how do you get yourself over that hurdle of, oh, I can't afford this person yet, or anything like that? How have you overcome that?
Well, for me, it's I'm hiring sales people. So if they can't pay for themselves, there's really no reason to be hiring them to begin with. So for me, it's not a budgetary thing. Now, again, as we grow, and that's probably my biggest challenge as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner now, is scaling. I mean, I got to scale up. I can't be a part of everything now. So I have to focus my time on more training and development than I did originally, where it was sales producer and things like that. I'm very happy to say that this is the first year Monaghan Associates that I wasn't the top sales producer. That's a goal.
Yeah.
I want to train and develop people so I don't have to do it all the time, because, again, um, I'm a lead from the front type of person. If you come into my office, you walk in, the first person you see is me. I sit at the reception desk. Um, because I think it's important that leaders are people that have done it or continue to do it, and don't ever consider asking their staff to do anything that they wouldn't do themselves, or haven't done themselves, or not currently doing themselves. Um, I find it to be obnoxious where people are cracking a whip from behind, and you know that they have never done what you've done, and they could never do what you do. I have a hard time. I had a hard time working for that type of manager or leader. So I vowed early on that I was never going to be that type of person. And I want to hire people that roll up their sleeves and get to work. I mean, titles, uh, I don't get caught up in it. Whether you're the custodian or the CEO, what kind of person are you? And, I was just raised in a way that you give people that respect, and you expect, people to roll up their sleeves and work. And if they're not willing to do that, then it's maybe this isn't the right spot for you.
Hey, thank you for that background around that. I think also, what you hear from so many of the business owners right now, hey, it's so hard to find those talented players.
Mm-hmm.
So how have you been able to find, strong talent who has the right spirit and mindset that you think they're going to be the great fit you talked about?
Yeah. Well, last September was when the business took a huge rise. And it's not a coincidence that it was when my wife and I decided to partner up. And I found my wife by sitting at the kitchen table and we had a long conversation about the trajectory of Monaghan Associates, and how we needed to move to the next level. And Stacy said, "Well, let's do this together." And I said, "I would love that," because again, it's a situation of we both have a common goal, and we both have the same vision. And I think it just made sense for her to come into the business to do all the things that in our personal life drive me crazy. Her attention to detail. Oh, by the way, did you remember to do that? But do the thing, and it's just like, yeah, I remember it. That would drive me crazy personally. But professionally, it's been a vital aspect of what we're doing here because it frees me up to do the sales, the business development piece where she makes sure all the trains run on time. And again, it's having that right person in the right seat that has helped turn things around to where I was able to hire a great producer. And then my goal for this year was to double the sales team. Well, we've done that. We did that. We just hired our other two folks just this last week, and we were going through our first week of training and onboarding, which has its own unique trials and tribulations. But you just kind of roll through those punches. But like I said, always be on the lookout. Always be recruiting. I do subscribe to a couple of sites that are kind of industry specific that help, have job postings out there. So I'm always seeing resumes coming in. But again, most of my success with hiring folks has been kind of referrals in that same regard. But still, as an entrepreneur that needs to have staff, you have to always be recruiting. You have to always be looking. It can't be something you turn on and turn off. Long term, it's just not sustainable for you because you'll find yourself behind that eight ball as, oh, I got to get somebody on board. And you as a person are pulling your hair out. Your personal life suffers because it's all back on your shoulders again. So that's why it's so vital to stay on top of it and try to be ahead of it as best you can. But as we all know, the world is crazy and things can pop up in a split second and you have to course correct.
So many great examples there, especially as you shared, always be recruiting. And also, hey, when you can find that partner who their skills, blend well with yours and you've got common goals, and even greater blessing when it happens to be your spouse. All right. Well. So, right.
Yeah, absolutely. I early on in our marriage, I never thought that this would happen. And it has been a true blessing, like I said, both professionally and personally for my wife and I to share this experience together. It honestly has helped our relationship 100%.
Outstanding. You mentioned scaling, your kind of current challenge. So, hey, tell us a little bit more about that. What do you see? What's holding you back from getting even to the next levels that you dream about?
Well, again, I think all small business owners struggle with this because your business grew because of you to a certain point, and it's because of the things that you do. Well, there's so many hours in a day, and if you don't get good at training and developing people to work with you, then you're never going to grow, because at the end of the day, what your output as an individual is finite, so that's why it's so hard for many small business owners to relinquish maybe some of that power, some of that control, because not everybody's going to do it the way you do it. But well, no, but is that necessarily a bad thing? Maybe not. I think you need to have standards in place, and here are our non-negotiables. But at the end of the day, as long as if you're doing the business in the guardrails of which we set up, do it. But I think as small business owners, they got to let go of the control a little bit, and put procedures and policies in place that help people develop as sales professionals and managers of sales professionals, because obviously the next part of growth for us is to get to a point where I have someone that can manage possibly the property and casualty side of the business, where then I can more focus on the life and retirement side of the business, and again, continue to grow this thing, and get to a point once I'm ready to retire, which will be many, many years down the road. I hopefully have hired my replacement, because my daughters, I don't think either one of them have any interest of getting into the business. But my goal, and one of the things that I share with my teammates, is I want one of you to buy me out. I want one of you to step up, and here's the path that we can make this happen. And I think that that's vital for entrepreneurs to have that vision of how is this going to end? Because I would like to have this continue to go on in some form.
Okay. Well, that's a great. You jumped ahead, and I appreciate that all around because I was going to ask you about your vision
Sure.
longer term. I think you just shared it. A great story, and I'm always impressed when I hear a business owner who's already kind of got their exit in mind, even though it's quite some
Oh,
time away. Right?
yeah, that's not going to happen for a long time, Todd. Not for a
Yeah.
long time, but I think it's good to have. When I was in high school, one of my teachers gave me this book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People.
Mhm.
Thank you, Molly Bardeen, for Seven Habits of Highly Effective People back in 19 something.
Yeah.
And Seven Habits of Highly Effective People begin with the end in mind. Um, that part of the book really, really struck me. And that's and also a thing that kind of got me into the business is the part of the book where it talks about a funeral, and it's describing this funeral, and it gets to the end of the segment, and it says, "This is your funeral. Who's going to be there?" And as a kid in high school, it kind of really was a paradigm shift for me, that I said, well, yeah, maybe I need to be conscious of what I'm putting out in the world. And at the end of the day, am I doing the things that are going to matter into people's lives, that they show up? Because, and that's kind of the vision and the thought behind our focus here, is begin with the end in mind. And if the world was without you tomorrow, would they care? So
Yeah. Yeah. No. So it's timeless advice, right? So with that end in mind, that visualization of your funeral, as tough as that may be, and not only who's there, but also what will they be saying? Right?
correct.
Hear that, right?
1,000% yes.
Yeah. What will they be saying? So you give already some great tips here, but what other advice would you give to other entrepreneurs? We have a lot of folks who are, early on in their journey as business ownership who view this, but also, what do you wish you knew then that you knew now?
One thing I wish I knew then, uh, wish I would have known then, is how how like I said, having the right people on the bus versus just filling the seat. Um, you can train and develop skills and help people get to where they get. But if you don't have what your non-negotiables are defined early on, and have that be a litmus test for every person that you're willing to bring on the team, you're going to have bad hires. We all have bad hires, but try to minimize those the best you can. Because people, I'm one of those. I'm a person that thinks by nature most people are good, but just because they're good people doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be good at this. And so we need to really get to that early on, and be slow to hire, and quick to let go folks that don't fit that bill. And I think the other big thing is, don't let your ego get in the way. Um, you're going to have to do things that aren't what you thought you were going to have to do to be successful. And I'm not meaning like bad things. I'm talking about you're going to have to wear a lot of hats. Like I said, taking out the trash, doing some of the grunt work, especially early on. That's exactly what you have to do as an entrepreneur, and as a small business owner. You got to put a lot of time in, and people like to look at the tip of the iceberg, but don't realize how much is under the water. And you have to be able to love what you're going to do. If you're going to go into business for yourself and it's something that kind of floats your boat, or it's okay, don't do it, because you have to have the 100% love.
Yep. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just too much of a grind, man. Just too much of a
Correct.
grind.
Then why go into business for yourself? Go work for somebody else if you're going to do that.
So, Mike, as we look to wrap up here, what are the best ways for folks to stay connected with you and to follow what's going on with Monaghan and Associates?
Yeah, so monaghan associates.com. Take out the and, it's just monaghan associates.com is the website. We're on Facebook as well. Um, there's an Instagram, but let's be honest, there's not a whole lot of fine visual pictures that our Instagram profile gets put out there. But yeah, find us on Facebook or our website, and that way you can reach out to me or any of the team and see how we might be able to help you. And obviously, we're right here in Springboro. We're easy to find. Just stop in and say hi.
That's right. So, so final question. What are you inspired by today?
Yeah, what am I inspired by today? So, I'm a daughter dad. I have girls, and and when I grew up, I have two older sisters. So my life, I've always been around women, and my daughters are such a unique group. Just they're unique kids. I mean, it's amazing when you have kids, how when you're sitting there talking with your spouse about your kids, this one's like me, this one's like me. But our two daughters are very, very comfortable with trying new things, and they're very, very comfortable with they're very smart. And uh there are times where my wife and I just sit there and look at these kids, and these kids are having a different experience than we did when we were their age. And I really want them to be proud of, their father. I want them to have a life that brings them joy. And though having them and working with Stacy are the things that kind of get me out of bed every day and really inspire me to again be conscious of the legacy that I leave behind. And just like I said, really great kids. Glad to be their dad, and by far they've definitely been a huge inspiration in this whole experience of taking a corporate life and saying, nope, I'm going to go put all my chips on the table and take a big gamble on myself. So yeah, they would be a big part of the why, if you will.
Well, hey, thank you for sharing that. You could
Sure.
definitely feel and hear your heart, not only obviously with your family, your wife and daughters, but also your heart for the business and for your team as well. So thank you for sharing your story with us today on the Spotlight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And to our viewers, we're grateful to have you join us today as well. I think you got several great, impactful tips from Mike here to share with how you develop your team and just kind of mindset in approaching your business out there as well. So thank you for joining us. Again, we encourage you to hit the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the series and you receive future messages from inspiring entrepreneurs like Mike Monaghan here today. With that, thank you and hope you all have a terrific day.